Dear Aries, have you ever imagined that, right now, high above in the heavens, an angel is raising his voice on your behalf? And your very future, Aries, has made Archangel Michael cry out in a way unseen in the last 40 years. In today's message, I will reveal to you the celestial movements unfolding, the prophecies tied to the sacred mission of Aries. What you are about to hear may send shivers through you, but it is also a spiritual gift, guiding you toward the great destiny that God has set before you. Right now in the comments, I am ready to embrace my great destiny. It is not only a declaration, but a way to connect with the cosmic energy that is leading you to triumph. And do not forget to subscribe, to like, and to share this message so that the light of Aries may be spread far and wide. Because right after this, I will lead you into a journey where Sagittarius itself becomes the bridge, opening the next great secret. And now let us go deeper to discover why Aries is being called by name in this sacred moment, and what makes this flame burn brighter than it ever has in 40 years. Here begins Aries, the flame that has been called. My friend, whenever I think of Aries, I always think of beginnings. In the circle of the 12 zodiac signs, Aries stands at the very first place, like the sunrise tearing apart the night to bring forth a new day. It is no coincidence that Mars, the planet of action, of battle, of explosive strength, is the ruler of Aries. I have seen thousands of star charts, hundreds of great alignments, but there is one thing I can say with all my heart. I have never seen a planetary aspect as powerful and meaningful as what Aries is about to enter. In the latter half of 2025, Jupiter, the planet of blessing, expansion, and wisdom, moves into Sagittarius. This creates a radiant trine with Mars, which holds the very soul of Aries. This is not only a pattern on a star map, it is a sacred summons for the souls born under the pioneering flame. I imagine this scene as a warrior standing in the night, holding a torch. Its light does not only shine on the warrior's own steps, but illuminates the road for those who follow. And that warrior, none other, is Aries. You may think, I am just an ordinary person, how could I become the light for someone else? But that is the wonder both astrology and faith have taught me. God is not searching for perfect people. He only seeks souls who are willing. For a small spark, when placed in the right place, can ignite the entire sky. Have you ever felt yourself too small, that your voice carries no weight in this world? If you have, I want you to pause, place your hand upon your heart, and remind yourself, it is this very smallness, once lit, that can ignite the entire heavens. In American culture, we often honor public heroes, those who stand in front of the crowd with radiant victories. But through astrology, I have learned another lesson. Sometimes your mission is not to be the hero celebrated, but to be the quiet flame that keeps the cold soul warm. Aries carries that strength within. You are the ones who dare to begin, who dare to act while others still hesitate. But this destiny, now, does not only call you to act for yourself, it calls you to become the light for others. When Sagittarius, the sign of faith and expansion, opens the door, your energy is no longer confined to a single room, a single house, but can flow into communities, into society itself. I have spent nearly half a century studying and teaching astrology. I have seen many generations of Aries, people both strong and fragile, burning with passion, yet so often misunderstood. And I can tell you truthfully, what is coming is the very moment I, and so many scholars of the stars, have been waiting for. There was once an Aries who said to me, I have spent my whole life doing only small things. I do not see myself as important. But then, in a single moment, he stood up and launched a community project that helped hundreds of children escape poverty. That was when I knew, the flame of Aries never truly dies. It only waits for the right wind to rise. And that wind is Sagittarius. Imagine this. A single candle standing alone in the dark. It is fragile, easily extinguished. But when another hand comes down, borrowing its flame to light a new candle, and then another, and another, soon the entire room is alight. Aries is that very first candle. What you do today, no matter how small, can become the spark that ignites hope for thousands you will never meet. That is why Archangel Michael cried out upon seeing your future. Because this light no longer belongs to you alone, but to the world. If this is touching your heart, write now in the comments, I am ready to embrace my great destiny. Subscribe to this channel so you will not miss the next steps of the journey. And if you believe this light must be spread, share this message. One small action from you can light hope for many. I know right now you may be asking yourself, where will this light go? How far will it travel to touch the world? That is the secret of Sagittarius, the sign that will become the bow, shooting the fiery arrow of Aries far into destiny. And I promise we will explore that together in the very next chapter. In the history of Christian faith in America, the image of Archangel Michael has always been the symbol of courage. He is the general of heaven's armies, the one who lifts his sword against darkness, who protects the weak, and who steps forth whenever humanity cries out for divine intervention. Perhaps you have seen the famous statues or paintings. Michael standing tall, one hand lifting a radiant sword, the other holding his shield firmly. Beneath his feet, the shadow of evil. That is not only art. It is a reminder to every generation that when light and darkness meet face to face, there is always a call urging us to rise. And now, I believe that call is echoing to Aries, the zodiac sign of those who go first. In astrology, Aries is ruled by Mars, the planet of the warrior. But when Jupiter forms its trine with Sagittarius in the latter half of 2025, this energy is no longer about fighting for oneself. It becomes fighting to protect what is right. And in that very moment, the energy of Michael merges with Aries. It is as if an unseen commander places his hand upon your shoulder and says, "The time has come, you can no longer delay." I have studied the star charts of many generations of Aries. Some became community leaders, some were simply fathers and mothers, living quietly in the shadows. But I have seen one common truth. In the hardest times, when darkness seemed to cover everything, Aries were the ones who stepped forward first. For me, that is no accident. That is the mark of Michael upon their souls. Once, I met an Aries woman in the South of America. She had endured failure in marriage, lost her job, and thought her life had closed. But one night, in prayer, she told me she felt a voice clearly. "Stand up, I am here." From then on, she began devoting her time to helping women escape abuse. She was never famous, but to me, she was a warrior of Michael in our modern time. Quiet, yet strong. You may be sitting here listening and thinking, but I have failed too many times. I have made mistakes. I have fallen. I cannot possibly be the one chosen. My friend, do not think you must be perfect to be chosen. The only thing Michael and God ask of you is a courageous heart, ready to take the next step. Even if your legs still tremble. And if the answer in your heart is yes, then you are already a warrior of light. I remember an Aries man who once came to me, his voice shaking. "I am in debt. I have lost the trust of my family. I have nothing. I cannot possibly be the one." I sat in silence, then showed him his chart for that year. I said, "This is not a sign of an ending. This is a sign of rebirth." 2 years later, that man had built a charity that fed hundreds of orphans. When I saw him again, he did not speak of success. He only said one sentence. "I only stood up because I thought Michael had called me." Do you see? Light does not come to those who call themselves great. It comes to those who bow low, accept their failures, yet still rise. And so, Aries, I want you to listen within your own heart. Perhaps you will not hear a voice like thunder. Perhaps it is only a feeling, a quiet pull within you. But if it stirs you to rise, to move forward, then that is the call of Michael. If this is touching your heart, write in the comments below, "I am ready to rise with Michael." This is not just a statement. It is a commitment. When you write it, you connect with the very energy covering the heavens above you. And do not forget to subscribe, because this journey does not end here. Each chapter ahead will open a new door, guiding you deeper into the destiny that awaits. And if you feel this message has meaning, share it, so that the light of Michael spreads wider, so that many souls may also find hope. Now you may be asking yourself, how far will this calling take me? What must I face in the long journey ahead? That is the very question we will answer in the next part, when we uncover the 40-year cycle of Aries and why this destiny is not only for you, but also for the generations yet to come. In astrology, there are short cycles, like the moon's orbit every 28 days or Mercury's journey over a few months. But there are also cycles so long that a person touches them only once or twice in a lifetime. And one of those cycles is the 40-year cycle, marked by the rare union of Pluto and the outer planets. Pluto is unlike any other planet. It represents death and rebirth, destruction and renewal. Whenever Pluto touches the energy of Aries, it is the moment the pioneering flame is not only lit, but refined through trial, through pain, and through hope. And in the latter half of 2025, Aries is stepping into that very window, a golden window that opens only once every 4 decades. Once you pass through, your destiny cannot be reversed. I know, when you hear the number 40 years, it may make you tremble. Who among us wants to think of burdens of trials stretching across decades? But astrology never speaks of suffering alone. It speaks of preparation. I have seen many Aries walk through years of darkness, bound by broken relationships, missed chances, delayed dreams. But do you know? Those were not chains. They were the furnace. The flame within you has never gone out. It has only been refined, waiting for the moment when Pluto opens the door, for you to step into an entirely new life. What lasts for many years is not meant to destroy you. It is sent to prepare you. Like a grain of wheat lying still in the winter soil, it is not dead, it is waiting for the day to sprout. I once witnessed an Aries man. He lived half his life in silence, doing small, unnoticed tasks. Many even considered him a failure. But then, at the very moment of the 40-year cycle, he rose up and founded a relief movement after a great storm in the southern United States. In only a few months, thousands of families were saved, tens of thousands received food supplies. People called him the unexpected hero. But to me, he was not unexpected. He was proof of the 40-year turning. For decades, he was only being prepared for that moment, and I believe many Aries listening today are walking this same path. You may think you have wasted time, but the truth is, not a single day was wasted. All of it was preparation for this very hour. Imagine a violinist who spends 40 years practicing in a small room, unknown to the world. One day, he steps onto the stage and plays a piece that makes the entire hall weep. People marvel, calling him a born genius. But in reality, it was 40 years of preparation. Aries is the same. The moment you have waited for your whole life does not appear by accident. It comes because of all those years that seemed useless. And now I want to ask you, do you believe that the moment you have waited for all your life is arriving right now? If your heart whispers yes, write it down below. Because when you write, you are not only speaking to me, you are declaring to the universe itself, I am ready. What moves me most when I look at this 40-year cycle is this. It is not only for you, it is for the generations after you. When an Aries rises, they do not only change their own life, they open a new road for children, for community, for society to walk upon. In the Christian faith, 40 is also a sacred number. 40 years the Israelites walked in the desert to find the promised land. 40 days Jesus fasted before beginning his mission. It is no accident that this number repeats. It always symbolizes transformation after a long journey. And Aries, you are living in that very journey. If you feel this truth touching you, subscribe now so we can walk together through the next chapters. Write in the comments, I believe in my 40-year moment. And do not forget to share this message, because perhaps someone in your circle is waiting to hear this so they do not give up. You may be asking, after I step through this 40-year door, what will lift my flame even higher? The answer is Sagittarius, the sign of faith, of wisdom, of expansion. If Aries is the flame, Sagittarius is the wind that will carry it far. When I sit beneath the night sky, gazing at the constellations, I always think of the journey of light. A flame that is lit, no matter how small, can travel for miles if there is wind. And in astrology, I see this wonder. Aries is the flame, and Sagittarius is the sacred wind that carries it onward. Not every flame can become a torch. It must be nurtured, protected, and most of all, it needs a force to lift it beyond its boundaries. On the star map of late 2025, when Jupiter in Sagittarius forms its trine with Mars in Aries, that is the bow and arrow of destiny. Picture this scene. Aries is the fiery arrow, full of strength and determination. Sagittarius is the bow, pulled taut with faith, wisdom, philosophy, drawing the flame back, gathering power. Jupiter is the divine hand of the universe, releasing the string, sending the arrow flying far, beyond borders you have never dreamed of. This is not a vague metaphor. This is the language of astrology, and I have seen it on the chart. With all sincerity, I can say, this alignment is not only about changing the life of one Aries, but has the power to touch communities, to shape society itself. I have seen many Aries who burn brightly but quickly fade. They are passionate, strong, bold to begin, but sometimes exhausted when carrying the flame alone. But every time a Sagittarius steps into their life, a friend, a teacher, or even just an experience carrying Sagittarius energy, I have seen their fire return, stronger, brighter, carried further. I believe the universe has arranged this. If Aries is fire, Sagittarius is wind, and only when fire meets wind do we have a torch to light the way. A flame kept hidden in the heart will eventually go out. It must be shared, multiplied, to become a collective power. In American society today, where people are so easily divided by differences, the message of Aries and Sagittarius is clear. Do not keep the light for yourself. When you share faith, knowledge, and hope, you turn a single spark into a torch that lights the community. Remember, light has no borders. It always seeks to spread. And Aries, you are the source of that light. I once knew a young Aries man in New York. He worked hard in a warehouse, his life seeming confined within four walls. But inside, there was always a flame that wanted to be shared. One day he met a teacher, a man who carried the energy of Sagittarius. That teacher encouraged him to study at night, to share knowledge, to expand his vision. And so, from an unknown laborer, he became an inspiration to the young people of his neighborhood. He said to me, "I was only the fire, but he became the wind that carried me far." That story is not only his. It is the story of many Aries when they meet Sagittarius. And in 2025, the universe itself is building that very bridge for you. Aries, let your fire burn bright. Sagittarius, let your wind fan that fire into flame. When the two combine, there is a light strong enough to shine on a community, even on the world. And that is exactly what Jupiter, the planet of expansion, is affirming in the heavens right now. If you feel the fire within you, write this in the comments now. I am ready for my fire to fly with Sagittarius. Subscribe to this channel so you can walk with me on this astrological journey. And if you believe this light must be spread, share this message so that the torch of Aries and Sagittarius may shine for many more. You may be wondering, if my fire flies so far, where will it go? What will it become in this world? The answer is a social mission. When Aries and Sagittarius combine, the light is no longer personal. It becomes a force powerful enough to transform communities. And that will be the next step in this journey. Aries, a mission for society. There you will see how your flame is placed into the right context to become a source of life for many. In astrology, we often speak of personal destiny, career, love, finances. But there are times when the universe does not only call one person, it calls an entire generation. And now, as the light of Aries rises beneath the alignment of Mars, Jupiter, and Pluto, I believe this is not only a call for you, but a call for society. For Aries is not only the seeker of personal success. You are the symbol of those who dare to act, who dare to defend justice, who dare to stand on the side of truth, even when it brings opposition. Today, American society faces deep divisions: politics, beliefs, culture. People fear speaking their truth, afraid of criticism or rejection. The world seems to lack those willing to step forward when everything is in turmoil. And that is why the energy of Aries is more necessary now than ever before. In an age of chaos, Aries is the one who dares to go first, who dares to open the way, who dares to do what many only think of, but never attempt. I have witnessed such moments many times. An Aries who stood to defend a colleague treated unjustly. An Aries mother who chose to expose wrongdoing, though she knew the cost. A young Aries who launched a community project in a place everyone said was impossible. These actions may seem small, but together they build like stones laid for the foundation of a great cathedral. I hold one belief unshaken. If more Aries awaken, society will fear less, and many will find faith again. Why? Because Aries are not people who only speak. They are people who act. They do not sit still when injustice is before them. They do not accept silence when truth is hidden. And in a society with too much silence, one courageous voice is enough to awaken trust in thousands. Imagine a cathedral, vast and magnificent. You may think it was built by a master architect, a single grand design. But the truth is, it was built from small stones laid day by day by thousands of unseen hands. So it is with society. One small action, one right choice, one stand for truth. That is the stone that helps build the cathedral of humanity. And Aries, you are being called to place those stones. I once met an Aries man in Chicago. He worked in a factory, his life ordinary, unnoticed. But one day, when he saw a colleague treated unjustly, he did not remain silent. He stood up, filed a complaint, and led a group to demand rights for all. He told me I did not think I was a hero. I only thought, if I do not act, who will? The result was hundreds of workers gaining better conditions. And years later, when I met him again, he only smiled and said, I only placed a small stone, but that stone kept the whole wall from falling. That is the spirit of Aries. And I believe society today needs those stones more than ever. So now I want to ask you, are you ready for the next generation to look at you and say, that was the one who did not give up? If your answer is yes, write it now in the comments. Because when you write it, you are not only telling me, you are declaring to the whole world, I am ready to be the light for society. Subscribe now so we can continue this journey, where each chapter opens a new door to the destiny of Aries. And if you believe your light can bring change, share this message so the fire spreads, and write it boldly. I am the light for society. My dear friend, we have walked together through a long journey. From the flame lit within Aries, to the sacred call of Archangel Michael, to the 40-year turning, then the wind of Sagittarius carrying that fire far. And finally, the mission given to society. I want to pause here to send you a message of deep gratitude. Thank you for giving your time, not only with your ears, but with your heart. Thank you for allowing the light of astrology and the sacred power of faith to touch your soul. And thank you, because your very presence is proof that the flame of Aries is still burning brightly in this world. But the journey does not end here. This is only the beginning. The door of destiny is opening, and you are the one who must step through it. If these words have touched you, leave your comment now. I am ready to embrace my great destiny. That comment is not just a phrase. It is an affirmation to the universe itself that you are ready. Subscribe to this channel so you will not miss the messages to come. Because on this journey, I will continue to share with you many more secrets that will make you stronger, steadier, and never lost. And if you believe this light can guide another soul, share this message so its energy may spread far and wide. Remember this. Aries does not live only for themselves. You are the flame that opens the path for a generation. And in the journey ahead, we will meet Sagittarius, the one who carries the wings of faith so that the flame of Aries never fades, but flies far to the ends of the horizon. Walk with me, because your destiny and the destiny of the world is only just beginning.